Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I am Ashley. I'm a homeschooling mom with 7 kiddos. Our oldest, she's in a couple months, will be 14. And we trickle down all the way to 2 years old. So I have obviously, with my oldest being 13 and in 8th grade, I have been doing quite a bit of research I guess for quite a while now, because it's some serious stuff to figure out what he is going to be doing and all of the things high school. So I kind of wanted to give a preliminary early thoughts on 9th grade curriculum. Now I did a video, I believe, on kind of early high school planning and maybe kind of the start of and thinking of different things that I can do early on to help prepare myself mentally also, but slowly. So it doesn't just kind of come full force at me in the summer like, oh my gosh, we start in 2 months and I don't have anything. So obviously when you're planning for high school stuff, if this is the route that you choose to be more, I guess, Common Core, but just more so on the track that you want to make sure that they are on the right track to graduation and to make sure that they have everything and all their ducks in a row from the very beginning, instead of scrambling at the end to realize that they don't have enough credits. So I obviously look up, as I say in every video when I talk about homeschooling, I look up on the local ISD website all of the credits. So basically like their high school course guide, I guess, if you will, and where it talks about all the things that they would need, all the credits that they would need to graduate, and that's statewide. So you can look on the, like we're in Texas, so you could look on the Texas website that has all of the homeschooling information on there. You can look at the local ISD. I just choose to do that because it's more local to me. So overall, knowing that they have like an option of 24 is like 24 credits throughout the whole 4 years is your kind of your basic number. Now you can do, which I am looking more at, the distinguished level of achievement is what they call it, for 26 credits. 2 more credits looks better, might as well, like why not, right? So I have everything listed down as far as how many credits he'll need, what like history, social studies that he will need. And for the most part, you can tell on most curriculum pieces what comes first. Now, if you want to do it out of order, that's fine, I guess. But if you were in public school, you would have to have prereqs before you take certain courses. So I don't know if that necessarily makes a difference in homeschool as far as the learning aspect of it and, kind of building on things. I think it just depends on the subject. But I'm just kind of going off that because I need that extra like base foundation to make sure that I'm just not pulling things out of thin air because I feel like it. Now, some people do that. Some people do not look at this. They do what they want. But again, if your kiddo is not sure what their path is, do they want to go to college? Do they want to do a trade? Do they want to stay at a job that they, are working at, and kind of work their way up, whatever their path might be there. I doubt they will know that for sure in 8th grade. And so you want to make sure that everything kind of lines up correctly. Now, I have done quite a bit of research, like I said, and these are very preliminary. I still want to dig a little bit deeper into these, but I wanted to give you guys a kind of an idea of what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at these things. So math, we have been doing Math UC for math for the last 2 years. And it's been great, but I need something that is a little bit more as we get into the higher maths. I need something that is a little bit more direct as it comes to tests and quizzes and things like that. I check the work and I help him through the work, but we are not required to do any checkpoints or anything like that. I want to just make sure that I have more of the tests, a little bit more help with tests and grading and things like that. And so I have looked up, I think it's pronounced Shorman math, not Sherman, Shorman. And I think that is going to be the one that I go with. They have different options. They have, they make it easy to do tests and quizzes and grading and things like that. That is what I need as we get up into these higher level maths that I am not great at. And I want to really just make sure that he is getting what he needs out of that. One thing that I like about this, so kind of to back up a second, we have been doing, we did pre-algebra last year in 7th grade, and we're doing algebra this year. What is good about this math curriculum is you can kind of get a twofer. So what he will do is redo algebra 1, but with geometry mixed in. So you can kind of get a twofer for that, from my understanding. And so he could get 2 credits at one time. Geometry, I am awful at. So this is the time because this is not something that I want to teach or that I can help with on many levels, because I was just, you're either algebra based or you're geometry based, I think most people. And I am absolutely algebra. And so geometry is just, it's just like a foreign language to me. So I want to make sure that he gets that correctly. Now, a good thing about doing this algebra over is that it will reinforce anything that he had any issues with that maybe kind of slowed him down some. And so, you know, looking back at the public school system and our local schools, he could be doing algebra in 9th grade. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, get his geometry credit out of the way also, and mark it down, check off the box, and be done with it. So that is what I'm looking at. Again, I am doing just a quick overview of what I think I'm going to do, but I will do a more in-depth video on each of these as I get closer to, and obviously if I end up purchasing these, I will do individual videos and flip throughs, etc. Not grass history. So we have been doing not grass history this year, which I'm going to do another video on as far as how it's been going. In a nutshell, I've really liked it. I like the read aloud aspect of it, and I like the stories. I like history, so it's, you know, if you like it and like kind of just sitting there reading aloud to your kids, it's just a good way to just sit and kind of relax and just read a story while they're learning. So I really like that. It has very good information. It has amazing pictures. It's been very easy to go through. Now, their history, he will be doing Exploring America, and it also incorporates English and Bible into that. And so your Bible could potentially be an elective, and your English or literature-based stuff will kind of coincide with that and merge with that. I don't know if this is going to be a full credit. My plan is to still use The Good and the Beautiful, possibly. We have done really well with that for language arts, the book study. And so I don't know if it's going to be enough English, enough language arts to suffice for an actual credit, but I am going to look into that more. But the fact that I could do a Bible and put that in as an elective, even better. So that is what I am planning for history. BJU Press, we have tried that for language arts, I believe, like forever ago, and I wasn't too fond of it. But as we get into the higher grades, I have heard a lot of good things about their foreign language and their science. Yes, these are Christian based, obviously. So if that is not your thing, you might not want to do that. But I like the video aspect, the to where they can watch things and it's not just me doing all of the things. So I am excited to do that. I think the labs that go with the BJU Press for science are going to be very interesting. I love the dissection aspect of it. So obviously I'm not just gonna like turn him loose and just say, just let me know if you have any questions. I want to be there to supervise and things like that, but I don't want to be the sole person doing all of the things all the time. I just can't do that. And I think at his age, he needs to make sure that he is independent, which he is quite a bit for 8th grade. And he knows that. That's not something that I asked him to do. He just automatically kind of does what he needs to do. And he has it kind of in his brain that this is what I need to do. And if I want to finish at this time, then I need to do that. If not, I'm going to be going into the summer. So BJU Press is what I'm looking at for science, possibly, and foreign language. Another, I have looked at Abeka for science as well. And I know a lot of people use it. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's going to be too cut and dry, like if it's going to be exciting enough. I've heard better things about BJU Press. So I think that's the route that I'm going to go. But as I get closer, obviously, I will do a video on that and let you know. Abeka also has quite a bit for electives. So keyboarding and typing, that can be electives. Now, Good and the Beautiful does have a few levels within their curriculum, separate curriculum typing that you could use for that. But I don't know if it's not necessarily a full semester. So I think Abeka might have a better keyboarding / typing that we could use as an elective. There are things like consumer math, family consumer science, things like that Abeka has quite a bit of like life skill type of electives. Electives is what I'm having the kind of the hardest time with because I want to make sure that it counts, but I don't know how to necessarily incorporate grading and things like that into that. So if I use it as an actual curriculum as opposed to saying, oh, he likes, I don't know, welding or something, and using that class as an elective, well, how do you grade that? How do you do that? If anybody knows about those things, let me know, because that is my main concern. And I really haven't done enough research on it, but I know that if you have an actual textbook with information and with testing and things like that, then you can do physical grades and, be done with it and you have all your stuff. I don't want to do a whole lot of extra work as it relates to finding out how to grade and, doing, having him do things that I have to like make up in order to get a grade. I don't really want to do that. Excuse me. So that is kind of where I'm at with electives. Obviously it's spread out amongst the 4 years. So, you can do with it as you will, but I've also looked into a lot of the ones that are listed on the course study sheet online, because that kind of gives you an idea on what kind of things are offered, because it's been a hot minute since I've been in school. And so what's offered and what are some other options and things like that. So for right now, those are the things that I have that I'm really focusing on. Like I said, I just kind of started small, started very basic, wrote down everything that he would need. Things like PE, he does baseball and taekwondo. He does something every day of the week, literally. So I don't know how I can incorporate that, or if I can, or if it has to be something separate. I need to look into that as well. Speech, I know that they have, that's only a semester credit. I know that they have speech curriculums that you can do, and then you can just, amongst your family, you can give these speeches. That's sufficient enough. So I do need to look into that. And I think that's it. So I am going to, and again, you don't need to cram all of this in your freshman year, but you want to obviously do the basics that you need done, that you're going to have 4 credits worth, or 3 credits worth, you want to start that early, and then that way you can kind of dwindle off and then have less classes and less things to do your senior year, like your typical public school. So if you guys have any questions or any comments or any, I guess, advice on any of these things that I mentioned, or if you use any of these as a high school homeschooling parent, let me know down below. Like I said, I will do more specific videos on these as I get closer to. I'm going to try and order early, one by one, not everything at once. It's too pricey, but I don't know for sure. I think for science, I think the lab kits and the dissection stuff and all that is separate. You purchase that separately. So I need to look more into that. But in a nutshell, this is what I'm looking at. So I at least have a tentative, very vague plan for freshman year, because it'll be here in a second. Okay, guys, let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and I will see you next time. Take care.